Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
Hello and welcome to So There I Was. This is episode number 139. It's our first, hopefully of many, So There I Was Hangouts.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, actually, getting to meet and greet the people that were in there. It was kind of widespread and varied and all that kind of good stuff. I will admit up front, folks, what with the holidays and all that, I just got a little lazy. So we're going to use the Hangout for those of you that didn't get to come join us as this week's episode. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
A few good stories.
Yeah. We found out some interesting things about some of our listeners. Holy cow.
Including the fact that a gent that I met last summer in person for the first time and Styx have actually been on an airplane together.
Yeah.
That Styx was flying, and they both survived.
That was really made the world seem small right there, that little incident.
It did indeed.
And the aviation world is so very small. We just don't realize how small it is.
Exactly. No sponsors this week. FTIratings.com, HSI Wealth Strategies, or Robbins Bird Brain Designs. We wouldn't deign to charge them for this, but we do want to acknowledge gratitude to them for continuously helping us keep this show coming to you. A couple other thank yous we probably ought to get out there, Fig. Our Chick Korea, who sent us $100. Thank you, sir. We are deeply grateful.
Chick, you've absolutely lost your mind, but we do appreciate you. It's very humble.
Right? Hey, thank God for crazy people, right?
Yes, we can relate. Thank you so much.
Indeed. And Beitar joined on as a pilot on Patreon. So thank you very much, sir.
Hey, is that kind of ironic? Beitar joined on as a pilot, but Beitar was Big Al the albino Rio.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a spot for a Rio on Patreon. Wasn't that smart?
Yes. Well, thank you, first of all, Beitar. That's awesome. And we love you, and we appreciate how you've chosen to honor our podcast. But we might need to think about that on,
There you go.
We got Rios and Navigators. Maybe we need to come up with something.
Put some of that on Patreon and, find some avionics techs and everybody else.
I don't know. It's the holidays. I'm a little groggy right now. I've had a little too much eggnog, if you know what I'm saying.
Right on. I hear you, brother. Same. And I'm going to go out in a few minutes here and meet Dave Hamilton for dinner. So
good.
Thank you, Dave, for all your help. So,
Dave, once again, thank you for making 2024 an awesome year for So There I Was. And you're always in our what am I trying to say?
Lineup of gratitude.
Gratitude. You're perpetually should be feeling gratitude from us. So thank you, sir.
Absolutely. So another quick one, Stephen Schofield, who has joined the ranks as section lead over at sotherewas.us/Patreon. And then we got kind of a cool dedication here this afternoon, Fig. That was neat.
I'll read it.
All right.
Greetings, guys. New Patreon here. Shout out to my granddaughter, Hannah, who gifted me a membership and a So There I Was t-shirt for Christmas. A couple of months ago, I told her about your podcast, and she started listening to it while at work. A related side note, after listening to your podcast with Dominique, I put his Flying to Extremes book on my wish list and received it for Christmas as well. I'm on the last chapter now. Keep it up. Keep up the good work, guys, and thank you for your service. And that was K.
Jorgensen. Hannah, yeah.
With the silent J.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Indeed. That is so cool.
Well, why don't we say, hey, let's get out of the way and let our listeners enjoy a little hangout talk with So There I Was. At one point, we had, like 24 different people on.
Absolutely.
Live.
And
it was kind of
next
fun.
time we'll go for 100. Let's go for 100.
Why not?
But for now, we're getting out of the way.
Don't do it.
Don't sit on that ejection seat.
Don't
true story
sit on it.
about crossing the pond at night in the world's smallest cockpit on the tanker through the weather. Oh, and to the tanker crew who did that, thanks a lot. We really appreciated that. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Well, there I was, crossing the pond, and you could see that I wasn't exactly fond.
Recording in progress.
Oh, that's official.
Now it's official.
Hey, Bag. Hey, Repeat.
What's up?
What's up, brothers? How you doing?
All you have to do is make sure all the names have been changed to protect the guilty parties, and we're going to be fine.
There we go. That's it.
Well, I was going to say I'm in California, and I think you just broke the law.
Yeah. Send Gavin to arrest me.
Cheers.
So we have Sheriff here, so he'll get you.
Good to see you, Sal.
Nice to see you, Feg.
Yeah. Well, very cool.
How many people do we have on here at the moment?
Well, right now it looks.
We have 16 right now.
16.
Why am I missing the users? Because I'm only seeing a few at the top there. All right,
Yeah,
I
that's all
see what's going on now. All right, I thought people jumped off there. So, all right.
I see more.
Hey there.
There's Ray. Hey, Ray.
Hey!
Woohoo! Woohoo! That's a good picture. You gotta get. I like your background, man.
Right. I should have put on a background. I didn't even think about doing that.
Yeah, I got.
Otherwise, it's my kitchen, and I'm really not interested.
Yeah, I should try and put one on. Well, Fig tells an opening story, preferably not about male genitalia this week.
Well, so, it's been my experience that all conversations boil down to three things at the end when you're hanging out, right? You're fucked up. Your wife or your girlfriend's a whore, and we're talking about somebody's junk or turd.
Because that's what's funny. Yeah.
It's sick. I know.
It's all sex or scat.
It's sick.
That's a show title. It's all sex or scat.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Stories include both.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I am, as usual, way behind in my Christmas present gathering. I'm a pressure worker.
Oh, yeah.
I'm feeling pretty
same.
good about it. I'm still feeling good about
So
it.
glad I got that for you.
Right on.
Right?
Hello, Stacy. Welcome.
I recognize that guy was on there for a second. How come we can't see everybody?
I'm trying to figure that out right now. I'm trying to get the
Is it
layout
something
so that
I
we
need
can
to
see
do?
everybody down the side or something. There used to be a way to. It's in view. Is it in view? Gallery. Okay.
Windows, lot on the bottom left, participants.
Yeah.
That should bring up a list.
Yeah, no. For right now, it blows up whoever's talking.
Yeah. And then, so I'm told.
Oh, I
it's
see
in-
it. They're on the side.
Yeah. But you got to load
Okay.
up gallery view, I guess is the other way to do it. So,
Why do I can't? I don't know if so. Is this everybody that's on right now?
it's
Says-
under
it
meeting.
says-
And yeah, there's 16 people on right now. And if you go
Badass
to
is
gallery
on.
view, so you go to window and. Yeah, I thought it was gallery view. Gallery.
Oh, yeah.
I see it. I've got it now. So, but view participants. Sorry, everybody. It's been a long time since we've used Zoom around here. Maybe the first 30 episodes.
Kind of forgot about that actually.
Yeah, right. That was.
I didn't remember how we did it in the beginning. But I
we
guess
used
it was
Zoom
when-
and GarageBand. It was crazy. So, gallery view. Anyway, so somehow I changed mine to gallery view, and then whomever is speaking, it puts a little highlight around their picture as far as I can see. So, all right. I'm making all this background noise too. I used to be able to tune that out. Not so much. All right. All right. Who's got an opening story here? Well, I'm looking for how to change my background.
Well, I could tell the story of some of the most spectacular flying in the Harrier I ever saw, and it was done by you
Where?
behind
Where's
the
that
tanker, behind a KC-130, out over the water. One day we were out just getting recurrent, and the basket had a tear or a rip. So the basket itself had this kind of a modulation going. Besides being in the prop wash, it was also doing its own thing because it had a little rip in it. But they said it's okay, it's good. So I had tanked and I got out of the way. Wait, which is the was it the low guy that
the prop wash from a KC 130?
Yes. Yes.
Hey,
Sticks?
there's Sticks.
What's going on, Joe?
Oh my God. Welcome, Sticks.
Sticks. Is there people in the background there?
Yeah.
Tell them to shut the hell up.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The patients can wait. They're fine.
No, I'll put you on mute.
Put a sock in it, tell them.
If they ain't drinking.
Anyway, I don't recall. Help me out here. When you were done taking, were you high observation or did you go down or were you low? I don't remember. But whatever spot I was in, I was above. So I was kind of watching it.
Okay.
And you and just so everybody knows, when you extended the fueling probe on the Harrier, it would extend and it would be about 3 feet to your left, almost a beat your head. So you really had to kind of turn your head to see it. So as you're approaching the basket, you kind of had to estimate where it was. And if you were slightly off, you couldn't use ailerons to fix it because it would move big. So you had to use the rudder only. And to add in a little fun, the KC-130, on a good day was doing maybe 230, 240.
Yeah, there's that.
So for us to get that slow, we had to crack 20 nozzles and set the flaps at a certain position so they wouldn't move, right? And we were kind of wallowing around too. So here's what I see. I see repeat. Take stab one. Kind of take stab. Hey, tell her to shut the hell up.
That didn't Sticks. Don't know who that is.
Not you, Sticks.
When the cars are close together, they're going to eventually crash.
Someone's talking about eventually crash.
Or crack. I heard
Crack.
something eventually is going to crack or crash.
Yeah, in the background.
I think that static's coming from my phone, Wayne.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, anyway.
Back
all
in.
right.
There we go.
So I'm watching, swing and a miss. And he's up at the plate. Here's the pitch and a swing and a miss on number 2. And then I don't know how this worked, but on the third try, you got in, hooked the lip, went past it. The airplane, the hose went over the top of the canopy and it's kind of behind your head. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh shit, this is not going to go well. And somehow he unwrapped the hose in like a aileron roll, falls out of the basket and, goes about 300 feet below and then pops back up and puts it in like it was part of a circus act.
I meant to do that.
Famous octoflugeron.
Yeah.
There we go.
It was an octoflugeron. And the whole time I'm thinking, I'm watching the Class A mishap. He's going to jump out of this damn thing. This thing's going to wrap around him. He's going to pull the hose off. Half of it's going to go down the intake. We're out over the water. I'm by default the on-scene commander now. All this is going through my head thinking, and then he got in there like it was no big deal.
You know what the worst part of this is? I have no recollection.
Well, we tend to delete terrifying things from our memory.
Yeah. The brain blocks
but
it
it's
out.
ingrained in mine because it was like watching a train wreck about to happen. It was awesome. Thank you for that.
Glad.
So there I was.
Did the KC 130 have that universal joint that the 135 had, so that if you didn't hit the basket just right, it would rotate sideways on you?
It had a retractable hose
That if you hit it hard enough, you could get a beautiful little sine wave in it and rip your probe off.
Well, all of them
had,
will do that.
It had a retractable hose that actually had some give to it. And and the hose had white stripes on it, like every 10 feet or something, 5 feet. And when you hit it,
I think it was 10 feet.
Yeah, and then if you hit it, you could see it. It would start to retract a little bit, so that you didn't. If you hit it and the retract system didn't work, you'd see a sine wave, and you needed to get out of the basket before the sine wave comes back, or it would snap. And the probe on our airplane was the weak link; it would snap a probe right off.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you had to push it in at least 5 or 10 feet in order to get fuel flow.
Yes, that's why the stripes were there. You had to push it in just a little bit to get the fuel flowing. That's right.
Were they using buddy stores on that airplane?
No, they were
external.
Permanent. They have a permanent external. It looks like an extra fuel tank, but it's where the pod goes and the retract system under the wings. They have the models that we were taking off on had the one external fuel tank, and then I think just outboard of that they had the air refueling pods, one under each wing.
That sounds like every tank and platform that I flew behind in the Navy.
Yeah.
Same kind of system.
Big. So you've flown it from both sides, right? You flew as a tanker aircraft as well as the Harrier?
No,
you never did refueling?
The model I flew in the Guard was just trash haulers. Yeah, we didn't.
Oh, okay.
We threw it out. We could land and throw it out. We could throw it out in the air, or we could pull up, shut down, and roll it off.
Because I was just thinking, there's nothing more the only thing more terrifying than tanking is being the tanker.
Speaking of terrifying, do you guys hear about the F-18 we just shot down?
No, please do tell.
You didn't hear about this, Fig?
You didn't hear, Fig?
Oh,
was this the last? Was this in the last week?
This was yesterday.
So it was day before yesterday, I think.
So I was kind of sequestered all week, in my own little world, doing that thing I do sometimes out in Denver. And so please let me have it.
Who's got the details? Sheriff,
give me all the gory details.
Yeah. So the USS Garrison shot down an F-18 in the Red Sea. Now, I'm assuming that it was an F-18F.
Gettysburg.
Gettysburg. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not Garrison. The Gettysburg, and it's a missile cruiser.
Shit.
So both the aviators that were on board were recovered. They both survived. One of them had injuries. The other one, I assume, was okay.
Damn it.
Yeah.
So it was blue on blue for real.
Yeah. Yep.
It.
Well, we've been in a shooting.
I mean, they
war
could have at least shot
there
down
in
an
the
Air
Red
Force
Sea for a while now. It's been a year that
I know we've been
the
shooting
news
drones
media
down.
has not been covering the shooting war going on in Yemen.
Gee.
With the Houthi rebels.
Right. That's surprising that our media doesn't cover things like that.
Yeah.
Huh.
That is surprising. Huh?
I got to tell you, I'm really not shocked, but I'm shocked. Wow, that sucks that one of them got hurt. That's no bueno.
Yeah, I don't know if IFF wasn't working or what the heck that cause was, but yep.
And you said that it was a missile cruiser?
Yeah.
Missile cruiser that shot him down?
Well, the cruiser, when they're in the Red Sea, when there's a launch from Yemen, they have 3 seconds to make a decision whether to fire or not.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, obviously, they have a whole system of track friendly, unfriendly, and that's not supposed to happen, but something went wrong, somewhere. But the timelines for having to do that, it was bound to happen with the amount of friendlies and unfriendlies in the sky and the time that they have to shoot. It's just unfortunate that it happened. But bottom line, we should have blasted the Houthis into the next universe months ago, and they shouldn't have been able to do that.
Yep.
Talk about a knife fight in a phone booth, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, Terry Austin. No, it was Jim. He put up a picture. He put up a picture in the chat. It's pretty good. Can you guys see it? It kind of reminds me of the day Repeat was behind the.
Yeah.
You guys see it?
Thank you, AI.
Awesome.
Wee bit of Photoshop there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey,
That's kind of.
It's the picture. So what happened?
That's pretty much what what it looked like, sort of from where I was. It's terrifying for me.
It's wild.
I think Repeat was so busy he didn't really because the thing is I kind of remember when we got on the ground. I said, "How did you do that?" And you were like, "What?" I don't know that you knew that hose was laying behind you across the back of the.
Nobody saw me. You can't prove a thing. You got any pictures? It didn't happen.
we do now.
What happened to that tape?
It's imprinted in my mind. Yeah, HUD tape was not rolling. It wouldn't have caught it anyway because it was off to the side. Damn it! We didn't have the anywhere you look recording device yet.
There's that.
It's probably a good thing, honestly. Yeah, it's a good thing that we didn't have cell phones either when we were. Yeah.
I had a video camera and had some pretty good videos out there, especially from Westpac. I've got pictures of you doing landing rolls on my wing heading down to Okinawa, and
I have that actually. Did you put together that squadron video?
Yeah.
Okay, the one where we
music on it and stuff.
Hey, would you like to tell the story of how we? Wait, have we had Rusty? We haven't had Rusty on.
No, I told him that tape will never see the light of day if Rusty and if Itchy and Scratchy will come on and do an Itchy and Scratchy hour with us.
Yeah, I was going to say we got that video.
Yeah, we got Rudy and Rusty.
So
we're all standing around on the lawn in front of the BOQ one night, and there were like nice hotel rooms, bathroom, living area, and a bedroom, and every Friday night I'm pretty much after the club time, after happy hour, we'd wind up out on the lawn in front of Slat's room.
Yeah, well,
and everybody's couch would come out.
Yeah, we would empty the furniture out of the rooms on the bottom floor.
We had all these couches, all the Q room furniture was out on the lawn.
Furniture in the yard. Yeah.
And then lighter fluid, of course, light the lawn on fire. So we had a good fire. And guys were pretty liquored up, and they were in what looked to be like a football huddle.
No,
well, they were thinking about going drinking later. That's what it was.
We had just come from reading scriptures to the orphans, and we were thinking about going drinking. Some guys may have done a little pregame in their room.
Yeah, and there was a little music on in the background. These guys were huddling, and got a picture. Rusty is like, "Hey, look, watch this," and he goes over and he tackles the group of like 10 or 12 guys into the couch, and they all go ass over tea kettle and wind up on the deck on the couch tipped over, and Rusty comes back laughing, ha ha ha, looking in the camera. Look what I did, and then sits down, and
nobody knew.
Nobody had a clue.
I
was
in the gaggle of dudes that ended up in a pile.
They're looking around like, what the hell happened here? Have no idea. And that would have been the end of it. But Rusty decided to go back to the well when 20 minutes later, these guys were in a huddle again. And he goes back for more. And that time somebody saw him. And within 10 minutes, we're all in our flight suits, all in our bag. And within 10 minutes, the only thing Rusty was wearing was his flight boots.
Yeah.
And he's yelling at everybody. It took 15 of you bastards to take me down. And it took you 10 minutes. It only took me 12 seconds to take all 10 of you down. Yeah.
So what he's talking about is in the process of holding him down, like a sleeve ripped off his flight suit.
Yeah.
And then that started a chain reaction. We just ripped the whole damn thing off. His T-shirt, boxers came off. He had nothing but his flight boots.
Flight boots on. Didn't rip those off.
Yeah. So he was holding a pile of clothes over his junk, walking back to the room, telling everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's doing a slow walk back to his Q room, which is across the street. And he's shaking his ass on the way, stopping and shaking his ass at everybody.
Well, the military police didn't come arrest everybody.
Right.
I don't know.
Because this was in the height of Tailhook.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
It was it was right in the beginning because it was right when they were doing all the investigations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Because
that.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that sounds exactly like the stories of all the enlisted guys being allowed to drink and pull their furniture out of their, quarters and sit around and drink.
Yeah, officers would never do that. We just made that up.
We never were allowed to do that. I wouldn't know what any of that was like. Hanging out on our furniture, drinking in the barracks.
Yeah. And what blows my mind is not only did I witness that, I happened to have the camera out that night and got it all on film.
It's kind of fun.
It
It's
exists
kind of fun to watch.
this day. Yeah.
So maybe we should put the gauntlet down. Rusty, you have 30
Itchy
days.
and scratchy, you're coming on.
30 days to come on and tell your stories, or we're just going to put the video up on our website.
Right.
And then that'll be it.
First one to the drawing board wins.
That's right.
Hack.
Oh, awesome. Hey, let's welcome a few more people here. So, see, Stacy Cole has joined us. This is like romper room. I see Johnny. I see Lori. Those old enough to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're dating yourself there, man.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Terry Austin, welcome aboard. When
Glad to be
pigs
here,
fly,
guys.
I'm sorry I don't recognize you, but I love your sweatshirt. That thing's cool.
Repeat, you should recognize me. We met in October at Macstock, sir.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Well, okay. Again, you're less than a quarter inch on my screen right now.
That's okay, sir.
And so there's Sal. There's Michelle. Michelle, do you mind if I tell tell everybody to how you're related to us?
Yeah, go ahead.
So that's Lawman's cousin. So welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome, Michelle.
Yeah. Yeah. And she provided us with the video of Lawman that's up on the website. So very cool stuff.
And you guys make me laugh every week.
That's what my wife says.
That's what my wife says. My wife thinks I'm a child. He tells me this quite often.
Yeah. Right.
No, I was going to say, Stacey Cole's actually my mom.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Hey,
I should have put the names together.
Yep.
I did not put that together at all.
Yep.
Mrs. Bago.
Oh, hey, look at that. Yeah, I guess she's busy,
Mom Bago.
busy baking for Christmas. So that works.
Nice.
Outstanding.
Very cool. Okay. And then trying to go down the line here. Well, there's Fig. The Great Tuntini. Sheriff. Sheriff and I go back to 16 years old.
Pretty awesome. It's good to see you, Sheriff.
Yeah.
It's good to be here.
Yeah. Tom Eberhard. Welcome, sir. Ray Glanville. Bago. Oh, did I pass? I passed over Sticks. Saw him down there. And then Dizzy and Badass is here. And Jerry Mullen. Eric Henderson. I'm just trying to go in order. It keeps coming up and moving around.
There's Jerry.
Yeah, I'll say keeps moving.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody. This is cool. All right. Who's got a story or a question?
Actually, I got a question for Fig.
Oh, God.
Yep.
I'll bring the question.
You have
Send
to tell
it,
the
Dizzy.
truth.
Send it, baby.
Probably about 4 episodes ago, you were talking, you said 1965 was a great year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What part of 1965? Yeah, I have that vintage too.
Well, June of
Okay,
1965.
you're June. I'm a July.
All right.
I was just wondering. I think I got attached to your podcast because it was, I don't know if there was a joint podcast or something like that with a British one called Damcasters, and they kind of had an advertisement. So there I was.
Oh, yeah, we did a show swap with them. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what got me into that. I seen all you guys and I'm trying to guess, you say things like, they're probably either, a little bit older than me, a little bit younger than me, somewhere in that range. So we're all in the same ballpark.
Well, I want to say all of us now. Don't be going that far now.
Slow down, Bago. Slow down.
Listen, you young whippersnapper.
And since, actually, I'm letting it grow in for the winter because it's cold. Otherwise, I would pretty much have the same kind of big look.
Bald guys need hats, and trust me, I need a lot of them.
I agree there, Fig.
Yeah. Although I would argue that 57 and the tail fins will beat out 65.
Ooh.
Oh, there you go.
I can't argue with that.
Much more classic. Yeah.
Cars aren't sexy anymore like they used to be. And
No, not at all.
No.
Oh, you guys have obviously never seen a 2016 Toyota Corolla. Let me tell you.
That could be pretty sexy, I guess, right?
I have to think that.
You got to put some fins on it, right? Some ground package.
Oh, geez.
Fast.
When gas
Fast
gets
air
up to $4 a gallon,
Yeah.
that 2016 Corolla looks mighty nice.
Yeah, right. It does. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
So
All right, question, story.
earlier
Somebody's
today-
got something. Terry, you got one.
Oh, I was just going to say I saw a meme earlier today that showed a 68 GTO, and the comment was the GOAT is still way sexier than a Tesla.
Right.
Every damn day of the week.
Right.
Yep.
Might not be as fast, but way sexier.
So to back off on the Hangout, the bullshit in the Hangar episode we just had, you know, luckily everything's working today. Thank freaking goodness.
Yeah.
That was
Internet was kicking your ass last week.
That was a struggle, to say the least.
It was kind of entertaining in the background to see you come, go, and then you were kind of there and you weren't.
Yeah,
thinking,
he must have been on
ass today.
a half dozen times or more.
I tried everything, but hey, we're good now. It works. One question I got asked was, what's your dream aircraft to fly? And I'm definitely agreeing with Fig. The F4U Corsair is the best freaking aircraft ever.
Yeah,
that'd be my dream aircraft.
All right, don't take this the wrong way, but I think I flew that airplane in a previous life.
Yeah,
just for some reason, ever since I was a little kid, I was attracted to it.
Yep.
Yeah. Black Sheep.
Black Sheep Squadron.
So I'm going to run. I'll be back in about 30 seconds. I'm going to run down and get the picture that one of the listeners sent to us.
Oh, yeah. Go get
autographed.
That.
Yeah. And I'll be right back.
You want me to?
Going.
So I'll
Hard
give
to
you
argue that Corsair was a sexy beast.
Sexy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
The best looking freaking aircraft ever. Nothing can touch that, especially nowadays.
Yeah, would pick it up on the Corsair and baggle your background of the F-35.
Yeah, and that's
22s.
That's one of
60s,
Brad's
50s.
pictures, actually.
I look at those planes. Previous corporation I work with, we did electronic systems on those planes. Great planes, big planes, but it's like,
oh yeah,
like the F-35. I look at that. I'm electronics. My paperwork is electronics. They're electronic gizmos.
Yep.
Right? Oh, this computer says you can't do this. So we don't fly today. It's one of those.
They don't.
And I think you're in F-35 systems, right? Or 22s.
Yeah, F-35 AVI.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I'm, way removed from that part of my life. Now I'm in higher ed and teaching electronics. But yeah, it's like nowadays the planes are, I understand the looks for radar issues and whatnot. But yeah, give me a radial engine. I like a radial engine.
Badass just put up a picture of a F4U Corsair in a Harrier. Looked like a heritage flight.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome. Thanks, Badass. All right. Did you get the
awesome
picture, repeat? Oh, turn your mic on, bro. Come back to it.
I am. Okay. Oh, my mic is on. Okay. So I did get the picture, and actually, well, you guys were talking. I was looking for it because I knew I had digitized it. But let's see if I can do this and get it.
Okay.
Too much light reflecting on it here.
That's pretty good.
Signed by Ed Olander, Pappy Boynton, Robert McClurg, John Bolt. And on the back, I have the certificate of authenticity. Nostalgic Aviation Inc. hereby certifies the following photo with indicated signature is genuine and authentic. Proof of the authenticity is maintained on file by correspondence from John Bolt, Robert McClurg, and Ed Olander to Nostalgic Aviation Inc. And it's that's VMF 214 in now I forget the name of the island in
Rabaul, wasn't it?
Which one?
Was they flying off Rabaul?
I thought they were available Vela.
Bella?
Yeah, it was Bella. So, but the Aces, if you look closely in the photo, the Aces have baseball bats in their hand.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of baseball bats there.
Yeah, there are. So
That's awesome.
That is very cool. So this is going to have to make its
Big
way
in
to.
there in his previous life.
Right?
Yeah.
I was in the back on the wing, not holding the baseball bat.
Yeah, right.
If you guys want a clearer picture of that, on the website, it's
Yes.
in between episodes 88 and 87.
Thank you. There you go. So I knew I had it digitized, and I think I have a way to share it here as well. But
well done,
yeah,
sir.
do that. Go between 88 and 87.
So Pete, you bought that and off or you
No,
were given-
it was sent to me by a listener, and
okay.
and thusly its rightful home is going to be in a Marine Corps museum, a Naval Aviation Museum at some point. I don't know if Pensacola is maybe the best place or the one in Quantico.
Yeah,
But
they do have.
That's priceless.
They're both
It's not-
outstanding.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
a classy
aviation,
move,
but
baby.
what's that, Izzy?
Classy move.
I started talking. There's a new Museum of the Marine opening up in Lejeune. Some point they just broke ground on it.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Nice. All right.
Has anybody been back to the Naval Museum in Pensacola? You can get back on the base now, right?
Finally, yes. Yeah. That was painful not being, having 16 good years, not being allowed to go to look at the Air Museum, which the public was
So
generally
stupid.
invited to. So,
Yep.
Jerry
Do you
Mullins
think
got
I
his
could-
hand up. Yes, sir.
Can I chime in before we get it?
Oh,
too
yeah,
far
real
away from
quick. Go ahead.
Corsairs? Just real quick, just when you talked about them, I'm gonna grab my camera and see if I can move this. I picked this thing up in an antique shop here in upstate South Carolina about a month ago, but it's a squadron photo of 232 Red Devils from 1951. It had to be just about the time they were transitioning out of the Corsair, but
wow.
Wow, that's a
freaking
great
awesome.
picture.
And
What are the odds?
The thing was like, it was like $60 and they sold it to me for 50. But I thought the same thing. I didn't want it. I wanted it, but it probably should be in a museum. So I love your idea of either Pensacola or some place that more people can enjoy it. It's absolutely cool. And it was just a coincidence you guys started talking about Corsairs, and I said, you know what? I got this thing.
I got one of those.
I'm gonna go get it. Yeah.
What a
Very
great
cool.
find.
Yeah. It's a good yard long.
Yeah, that is badass.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Nice. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. So
Yeah, that was right when the Korean War was hot.
right. So,
Was
Speaking of Korean War there, guys, just wanted to say that I appreciate your help in trying to get these old Korean War photos to the Marine Corps History Division. You guys recommended I talked to them, and they took them. So
outstanding.
they're in
fantastic.
Quantico now. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Holy
Thanks
cow,
again.
that's freaking sick.
That is outstanding.
that's great news. Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Well done, repeat. Because when I saw that email, I was like, "Oh shit!" I don't know. You fired it off,
Yeah,
dude.
maybe.
This,
but
this,
yeah.
and this. Yeah,
I was able
well,
to find some contacts, some people to talk to there. So, Jerry, you've had your hand up patiently for a while. What's up, sir?
How did you see
Well,
that?
thank you. Thanks, repeat. By the way, I like your pronouns there. Very funny.
Yeah.
So,
Me, mine.
Those are pronouns.
so I found out about your podcast through Bill Betts, who I served
Bugs.
in
Yeah, okay.
the FBI with. Yeah. and
Bugsy.
I never knew him in the Marine Corps, even though we were the same vintage. I was in Fox Company of 1987, and I believe Bill was in Echo.
Yeah, we were classmates, by the way.
Okay, that's
yeah.
But we never crossed paths in the Marine Corps. I was a frog driver, and of course, Bill was a Harrier pilot.
Thank you for your service, and I'm glad you're still alive, sir.
Ditto.
Thank you. But I thought you guys would get a kick out of this story.
Oh yeah.
So when I was at Camp Upshur in PLC Junior in 1985,
Camp Upshur still owes me an apology.
when the first day when we were introducing ourselves, and of course our platoon commander was an infantry officer, and you had to state your name and where you went to school and why you joined the Marine Corps. And we had a kid named, I still remember his name was Donovan. I don't remember his first name, but he had an aviation contract, and he was about 6'5", and he didn't know his left from his right. He was really struggling, and not due to a lack of effort, but he had already had his private pilot's license, and I think he was going to Lewis University, and he made the mistake because one of the questions was, why did you join the Marine Corps? And he made the mistake of being honest. And he said, well, I joined the Marine Corps to fly the AV-8 Harrier. And of course, that was the wrong answer and the platoon commander was basically like, so you don't give a shit about anyone but yourself, apparently. And anyways, Donovan did not make it. The Marine Corps actually kind of extended him a professional courtesy because they essentially told him he was going to be eliminated for failure to adopt to the Marine Corps lifestyle or whatever. But they knew that could potentially screw with his future in terms of pursuing a commission either in the U.S. Navy or the Air Force. And so they allowed him to DOR because they said, you're going to have to disclose this if you attempt to go into another branch of the service. And then probably about 5 years later, a friend of mine who was in my platoon at TBS who flew C-130s said he ran into Donovan at somewhere, I think in Oklahoma, and Donovan was a first lieutenant and he was flying C-5s in the Air Force and happier than a clam. It probably worked out better for him that way than if he had stayed in the Marine Corps.
He found his niche. He found his people.
So anyways, I thought you guys would get a kick out of that.
Yeah. Thank you. Wow.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Because
Steve Sinner, was he in Fox Company with you?
Yeah, and Jeff Hoeing.
Yeah,
I got a Christmas card from him yesterday.
Yeah.
He's
Sinbad,
a good dude. Yeah,
Sinbad was one of our first episodes, and we need to have him back repeat because he's had some.
Rob Tankey and
that name.
Joe Salsky. He was an Air Force Academy.
Oh, Salsky, Air Force Academy grad, and that's the first time I realized that a service academy guy from one academy could take a commission in there. I thought, what are you doing here, man? Yeah, he was a tall guy too. Salsky was.
Rob Tankey was a bodybuilder. I don't know how he fit in the A4, but he ended up going to the FBI as well. He was in the Newark division. So,
well, thank you for your service and thank you for your follow-on service. Are you retired twice now?
Yes.
Excellent.
Very cool.
Is there a walkie-talkie going off in the background there for a second?
I think so. I think they muted themselves though. So, although I do have the Pats game on because I'm not watching it. They're winning. That's it. I just got to quit watching Pats games.
I like that idea. Nice change.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, oh dear God, they're up over the Bills. That's just not possible. But not this year.
Oh goodness, no.
Some good upsets today. So, oh, man. Well, maybe depending on your perspective, some upsets today. Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So,
I watched the Chiefs yesterday, and since that game's over, I just don't care right now.
Right?
Does that make me a bad
You got
person?
yours. I know. I got mine.
Hey, all this talk about Marines, I have a joke.
Santini, bring it, sir, bring it.
So this Navy guy walks into the bar, orders a drink, and he says, all Marines are assholes. Guy in the back of the room stands up, says, hey, I take exception to that. The Navy guy goes, why? Are you a Marine? He goes, no, I'm an asshole.
Where's the one? I wonder if there's a way I can display this. I got a great one yesterday. I shared it with some of you, but it's why Marines can't be put in charge of the elf.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't. I'm trying to figure out how to share that with somebody. Oh, well, I'll figure it out while we're chatting.
I had a chance encounter with a guy about 90 minutes ago, and I'd never heard of it before. He said, what's the difference between the Marine Corps and the Boy Scouts? I said, what? He goes, the Boy Scouts have adult leadership. Yep.
You guys are so funny.
Oh, a Marine walks out of a bar.
Hey, it could happen.
Close. Close. Last call.
Oh man, too funny. All right.
So we were also looking for ideas on our best of shows. So if anybody has those, I was definitely thinking. I think Terry McCauley was a good one. I don't know if anybody else has other ideas on shows that we could include in the best of.
So I got a nice list from Bagos. So I've got at least the first best of done. But yeah, send via email. Repeat it. So there I was. Send me the show and the story. I'm going to put two best of shows together. We almost had one more live recorded show for the year this year, and our guest had recording difficulties, to say the least. So, oh man,
That'll
I'm just
be
catching
something to
up
look
on
forward
this.
to next
Okay,
year.
I wonder if. Let me try this. I wonder if I can put this into the chat, and maybe everyone can see it there. Doesn't look like it's going to go. All right.
Well, Badass figured out how to get it.
I know, right?
Oh, wait. There's another picture.
Okay.
Tim Sedlow put up. Wait. What was that picture?
Oh, I can get this one in the chat right now. I think maybe.
Or I could share screen. Is there a way to share screen? That's what.
Oh, it's a freaking file. Why did they come up with a file?
All right. What are these?
God. Don't trust
Sim,
me with this technology, dear Lord.
You got to tell us about these pictures that you put up on the chat. It looks like there's a platoon of guys kind of standing there with their bags, getting ready to do something, and then guys climbing off of a Marine.
Is a C-46?
Yeah. What vintage is that? Where do those come
That's
from?
1951 or 1952 in Korea.
Oh, that's the shit. Look at that. Those are great pictures.
Cleaning out, my mother's neighbor passed away, and her husband was a Marine. And cleaning out their stuff, we found a box of slides, about 150 or so color slides from his time in Korea, 1951, 1952. So, yeah, I digitized them and kind of was wondering what to do with them. And you guys suggested sending them to the Marine Corps Historical Division. And that's where they are now.
After they've been digitized. Wow, that's high def.
Color Kodachrome slides. There's not too many color images from Korea.
Yeah, those are fantastic.
No,
yeah, that is. I mean, that is awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
They looked like they were right out of a Hollywood set.
Yeah, for real.
And I don't think I don't think I put those up on the website, did I? Dang it!
No,
I could send you a link to them.
No.
Yeah,
later on.
Thanks. Yeah, and I'll try and put them up on the website. I'm trying to get all those things. When people have written books and that kind of stuff, and I need to put those up there. So far, I've only put up the 2 PDFs, one from Rosie and one from Beitar, but I need to get those associated on one page so that people can then link it to their show. So
I had a whole list of every. I was going through and writing the list of every book all of our guests have written, and I don't know where the heck that list went. So I'll have to restart. Not a problem. Easy day.
Right. I am trying to figure out how to share this one. It's not going. It's not going, man. Oh well, I'll get it in there.
Caught, Pete.
Right. I'm usually technically better than this, but doing it on the fly when I haven't used Zoom in over 2 years until tonight.
It's like flying an MD-11. It's simple.
There it is. Yeah. So I got it into the chat.
There we go.
Why Marines can't be left in charge of the elf. Yeah. The elf is getting waterboarded. It's not torture. It sucks.
What's funny is when you sent me that picture, I couldn't see the bottom of it. I didn't realize the G.I. Joe guy was standing on the elf. I saw him holding the water spigot.
Yeah, he's got like an M16 in one hand.
Yes.
He's got the water faucet
It
On
did
the
not
other
make
hand,
sense
he's
to me when
waterboarding
I
the
saw
elf.
it. Yes.
I was going to say, does it make sense now? Jesus.
The G.I. Joe waterboarding an elf in the kitchen sink.
I'll tell you what. I'd rather get waterboarded than my eardrums broken.
Well, there's that.
Like Bart. So,
right.
Oh man.
Rosie Greer. I told you I spent the week with him this week.
Yeah.
He was a Marine Harrier pilot in the same vintage as, well, we had Disco. They were kind of peers, right? It was in 542, deployed in the first Gulf War, and I think we're going to be able to get him on. I had a couple of beers with him one night, and he was relating some stories, and I go, stop talking. Stop talking. I need you to say that because we're going to get this recorded. And he wants to. He's got a bunch of kids and a bunch of grandkids, and he wants to get them recorded.
Nice.
So
that's awesome.
We're going to have him on.
Very cool. So, and you mentioned Oingo earlier. I think he's got a grandkid because that was his Christmas card. Was just a picture of a baby, and no mention as to who it was. So, hopefully, it's not his.
Surprise!
A little late to start.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Sometimes people start over. It's not good.
Yeah. All right. Oh, 2 new messages to read down here. Oh, there they are. There's one of the pictures from Korea. Yeah.
But I agree. I think one of the important things is, and I think before everyone had joined on, repeat ask where I live. I live in Medford, Mass. And as a kid, I said, I want something, Dad. Cut grass, do work. Okay. So I cut grass for a neighbor. He was a World War II veteran. I kept helping him out and whatnot. And inevitably, I said, so where were you? Oh, France and all that stuff. I missed the Battle of the Bulge by 1 day. He got shot in his tail section. That was my $1 million wound because I probably would have been killed, the next day.
Yep.
I was going, but, he would tell stories and, I was too young to say, I need a recorder or I need something to get this. And I'm a firm believer this podcast, there's other ones out there. This whole history of World War II is vanishing.
Oh, every day.
Every day.
It's horrific. It makes me wish we'd started this 15 years ago when we still had a chance of getting some more
assorted Bush wars.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Well, we got Rosie, who was B-24 nose gunner.
And we had Royce.
Man, he was sharp. And then Royce Williams.
Who didn't fly in World War II, but
he was in 1952 in the heat of the Korean War.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then finished flying Phantoms and A4s.
I know that. So the most, what I like to think about when I think about Royce Williams was how nonchalantly he rolled into, after he talks about the MiG, 1v7 against the MiGs, how nonchalantly he rolls into the, oh yeah, I was in this F4 and it was on fire and my backseater said, I want to jump out. So he jumps out, and goes through this whole thing. And the whole time I'm thinking, you're on fire? He says, yeah, I can see the flames. I had to stay in burner to keep the thing flying. And he brought the thing back, and that's how they figured out why they were losing Phantoms. But that was like nothing when he talked about it.
I brought it aboard.
Great story.
I know. It's like, what? You did what? I mean, nobody stays in an airplane when it's on fire. Well, he did. He flew that son of a bitch all the way back to Key West and landed it on fire.
Yep. It's like back in May when we were getting my email set up, I was asking Repeat. I had a guest I wanted to invite on, and his name was Bud Anderson. He's World War II's last triple ace. He was 102 years old, and I shit you not, that day I went to go email him. I opened up my internet browser, and the first story was that he passed away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, what are the freaking odds? I'm like, man.
We've lost, there's so many like that. We had another guy lined up who was the last Huey out of Vietnam. and was trying to get him lined up, and he passed away. And then, of course, we lost Punchy shortly after the interview.
Yep. We got him on just 2 weeks before he passed.
Yeah. So you guys stay healthy, man.
Yeah, what the heck, guys?
Well, and if anybody knows
Taking my medicine.
any of these people we need to get on, please figure out how we can get them, get
some
in
more.
contact
Yeah.
with them. Yeah, because we need to get their stories down.
In fact, one of the ones I'm looking for is Major. It's like
the
Byung
Vietnamese.
Yi.
Yeah, the
Is it?
Vietnamese guy.
Yes, he was the one who stole a bird dog with his wife and 5 kids in it, and the flight deck was fouled, and so he couldn't land on wasn't the Midway.
Oriskany?
I don't think it was the Oriskany either.
Essex.
Oh no, I thought it was the Midway.
Yeah,
I thought
maybe
it
it
was
was.
the Midway.
But the long and short of it was he couldn't land because the flight deck was fouled. And so he wrote a note and dropped it onto the flight deck. And in order to get it to not flutter away, he wrapped it around a pistol and dropped the pistol onto the flight deck. And they picked it up, said, clear flight deck, wife, 5 children on board, wife, 5 child. And that's why you see video of them pushing Hueys over the side of the aircraft carrier so he could land his airplane. And the captain, I forget his name now, I looked it up on Wikipedia. That captain was the first African-American captain of an aircraft carrier. And he states that he thought he was not going to get anything but a court-martial out of shoving airplanes into the water so this guy could land. So
yeah, Tom posted all the info right in chat for us about it.
Yeah, there you go. So, Buang Lee.
And since got the picture.
Yep, there it is.
That's epic.
And I've seen him on, it wasn't Air Disasters, but it was some aviation show where he was interviewed, but it appeared to be 30 years ago. So he may not still be with us. But boy, would that be a fun interview to get. So, yeah, thanks for those photos. Yeah.
I don't know if I ever told this story in the middle of one of the podcasts, but you said something that triggered it. Actually, it was Dizzy, or no, shit, I don't know who it was. Well, anyway, growing up, I spent a lot of time at my grandparents' house, and the guy right next door was the Mr. and Mrs. Copeland, and my grandpa always just called him Cope. Hey, Cope, and they would talk. Well, when I was about 12 and I was totally enamored with aviation, my grandpa said to me, you should go talk to Cope. Cope flew during the war. And I go, really? So I went over to his house one day. He was retired, when I was 12. So he must have been, he looked at me like he was 105, but really, he was probably 55 or 60 at the time. And I asked him about if he was a pilot during the war. And he says, yeah, I was in the Navy. Where'd you fly? He says, well, F4U Corsairs. And I said, no way. So can you tell me a flying story? And he's like, nah. So the Dark Desert Highway version of this story is I work on, every time I see Cope, I would say, hey, Cope, can you tell me a flying story? Tell me about flying in the war. And he would, blow me off. Well, I must have caught him one day in a mood because I said, hey, Cope, can you tell me a story? He goes, yeah, you want to hear a story? I'll tell you a story. I'm like, all right, here we go. And he says, I'll tell you what, the first time we saw a Japanese ship, we thought it was a good idea. It was strafe it. I'm like, all right. He says, so we all rolled in one at a time and we're going down. And I had my guns blazing and I was going so fast that Corsair had never gone that fast. And he says, and I thought, holy shit, I'm going so fast, I'm outrunning my bullets. Because the tracers he was passing the tracers. And then he says he realized those weren't my tracers.
Right.
And he goes, there's your story. He goes, there's your story. And he walked off like, what? That's all he ever told me.
Those weren't my tracers. Yeah.
Weren't my tracers. Yeah.
My uncle parachuted into Normandy on D-Day at 19.
Oh my gosh.
And fought all the way to the Battle of the Bulge. Never talked about it to anybody in the family until I joined the Marine Corps. And then when I joined the Marine Corps, I asked him once, because he used to wear those little medals, on the suit. He was a banker.
Yeah.
So he had a Purple Heart, he had a Bronze Star, he had the Victory Medal, and he'd wear the little tiny ones. And I'd ask him about them. And then when I knew what they were, when I, joined the Marine Corps, and he told me the story, he parachuted into Normandy on D-Day and fought literally almost, they had a little break after Normandy. They had Market Garden in Holland and then all the way to Bastogne.
Oh my gosh.
No, he walked funny his whole life. And my mother used to tell me he hurt his feet in the war. So he told me the real story. He was in a foxhole in the Battle of the Bulge and almost froze to death. And his feet got frostbite so bad they turned black. So when they finally got him out of there after, whatever day the weather cleared and they were able to relieve, the units that were out front where he was, and he was only 19. I think he turned 20 in December. They wanted to amputate his feet because they were black and I don't know all the medical stuff, but they were like, you should amputate these. And he didn't want it. So when they sent him back to the States, somehow he kept his feet. I don't know. And he would walk funny for the rest of his life. He wore funny shoes and walked funny, but he never talked about it. He never told anybody that story except his wife. He didn't even tell his kids. And he told me, towards the later end of his life, he gave me really all the details because he felt like he had to tell the story. He had never really told anybody the story about, D-Day and, what he saw on Bastogne or,
Wow. Yeah. It's the quiet ones who saw the real shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I was about 10 or 12. We went back to Illinois and we're spending some time with some friends of ours. And he had a couple barley sodas that evening and starts telling me about his experience as a POW in Germany and what they used to do to the guards. He said, it was lights out and it was black as night. You could not put your hand a foot in front of your face and see your hand. So what we would do is screw with the German guards and we'd sit there and play cards and we'd write letters home and that kind of stuff. And they'd come in to check on us and they'd have flashlights and we're sitting there playing cards in the dark. And I'm like, but no, we weren't really playing, but they didn't know that. They had no idea. And they could not figure out how the Americans could see in the dark and they couldn't. So it's like, man, but when my mother later told me, he goes, yeah, I never heard him talk about those stories ever. And that was the first time she had ever heard it. And she'd known him for 30 years. So
picking up on that, again, with my neighbor, when it was later in his life, I was definitely way older and whatnot. I wasn't cutting grass for him, but, go over, talk to him and whatnot. And one day, I never says, he got any stories, He always told me, oh yeah, my $1 million wound that got me out of the Battle of the Bulge. And then he said, I got a story for you. And he goes, gets a little metal box, right? And he says, when I got back, which was now, he was in Germany. These are the final days. Says, funniest story. Kicked open a door, right? There was a Wehrmacht officer there eating breakfast. And he said, I capture you. And the Wehrmacht officer, whatever said in German, like, I don't give a shit, So he confiscated his gun. And I guess back at that time, you were allowed to send things home. And he opens up the box and he said, it's a Sara, I think P13. It was an officer's pistol.
Okay.
It had an enclosed hammer. And he asked me, he says, I'm getting too old for this. You got licenses? He says, yeah. Here you go, sir. So I don't have it ready now, but it's like, okay. And then I look at it like, oh yeah, there's the whole flip, swore sticker and everything on it. Like,
oh wow,
crap, and what? And I said, okay, but no. So I got that, but yeah, I always said, I didn't lead, he says, a spectacular Army infantry life. Although, funny thing you mentioned, repeat, when he got sent to the United States to recoup for his wounds, he was at a U.S. German POW camp somewhere out New Mexico, or Arizona and whatnot. And he says, they had free run. They would actually go out and work during the day and come back at night. And if they didn't come back, we knew what house they were staying in. It was just an interesting time. He always would shake his head at that, but definitely interesting time. Like I said, I like aviation. I also like trains and other things. And I always have been trying to be that mantra, like, we get to record these old stories in any way, shape, or form possible. And that's why I always say, salute to you guys for, doing this podcast, as others podcasts out there to, keep this history recorded for life. Because, World War II was filmed, Korea was filmed, Vietnam was filmed, and video or movies more than now. Anything today is all, got the cell phone out.
Everyone's recording it.
Well, thanks, Dizzy. It's just you're spot on. Getting these stories recorded for posterity.
Yeah,
and some of them are unbelievable.
Yeah.
If I may say, this was my father's group in this picture behind me, and the 452nd Bomb Group, and I was treasurer of the 452nd Bomb Group Association to keep these guys' memories alive. And every year we would get together for a reunion. And we got down to such few numbers of the original vets that we ended up going to the 8th Air Force reunions. And I lost my dad back in 79, I think it was. Not 79, 89. Anyway, but I still stayed active with him because these guys reminded me of them, and the stories they would tell sitting across the table at dinner and stuff like that. Just amazing. And I know some people have gotten them down, but it's just, I love your show, for the stories, and to honor these guys that went through this. So thank you for having it.
Well,
thanks, Ray.
We're blessed. Yeah. Thank you, Ray.
Yeah.
We stumbled into a formula here that has been absolutely amazing. That, I had no idea some of what we were going to hear when we started this. I don't think you did either, Fig.
No,
we knew there was some cool stuff to hear, but no idea that
no. And it's the historical stuff that surprised me that we were getting. I mean, stories of annex, and I hear these stories all the time.
Sure.
Guys I'd fly with, and I'm like, that's pretty damn funny. I've never heard that before, and I would tell a story or two, but not like this, not like these stories.
No, but the stories of, like one of the early ones was Tuntini getting out of a burning helicopter. Or, Sheriff put us on to Happy Birthday Yogi. Keith should not have survived that day.
No.
And then One Eye flying a helicopter blind for 20 miles.
With his hands on the gauges. I'm like,
right.
Yeah.
Had to break the glass to feel where the RPMs were.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
How do you fucking do that?
Yeah. What makes you think of that
it?
in the middle of the night when you've just been shot in the face? They go, oh, I know how I can get him. Yeah, because that's what I'm thinking about. But,
yeah.
I like his attitude. We ain't staying.
That's next level shit right there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that is
his gyro, his built-in gyro was something else.
Yeah, for real. Think about that.
Well,
Think about it being in a helicopter too, and everything's shaking all around you. Sticks can relate to that. Yeah,
and I'll tell you, that sheriff here has an unrestricted medical. Dude, what you have done just waters my eyes when I think about it. God bless you.
Seriously.
I don't know that I would have had the wherewithal and the fortitude and I just, well, screw it, I'm done. you know, she didn't do that.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
It's fantastic stuff. So, who's got something else? Questions, comments, rude remarks?
You guys remember?
We've been out this over an hour.
Back in I guess it was the 90s. And I don't remember who was doing the interview. It was Peter Jennings or something like that. But they're talking to that old French fighter pilot, and they're talking about the German invasion of France. And they're saying, smoking a cigarette, one morning, all of a sudden, the air raid siren went, and these fuckers came out of the sky and shot us. They strafed us. And he's like, for our viewers at home, a Fokker is a type of German aircraft. The French guy's like, that's true, but those fuckers were Messerschmitts. I didn't do it right, but it was something like that.
I guess.
Yeah.
That's good. That's perfect. Yeah.
Well, that reminds me. This is kind of along the same lines. There was a story where this is back in the early '60s, the beginning of the jet age. There was Lufthansa flight taxiing in Heathrow, and he missed a turn. They missed a turn on a taxiway, and the controller says, "Lufthansa, you missed your turn." He's berating him in an English accent, by the way. Turn left at the next taxiway. What's the matter? Have you not been to London before? In perfect timing, the German captain comes back and says, "Well, as a matter of fact, I have, but only at night."
We didn't stop.
I heard the reverse of that. It was some British or American guy landed in Germany or something, and it was the same thing. Yeah. He never been to Berlin before. He said, "Yeah, once, but we just never landed, and it was more."
Okay. I'm going to tell you one that I heard personally on the radio at O'Hare one day taxiing. This was over 20 years ago. Now this is a little salty, so bear with me. Lufthansa.
Plug your ears, Bago.
So it's one of the typical summer day in O'Hare. Some thunderstorms had rolled through, and there was airplanes scattered all over the place, waiting to take off. And Lufthansa 747 400 is right in front of us, and we're finally getting to where we're going to go. And the guy, the co-pilot who was talking for Lufthansa, comes up and says, "How are we don't have our numbers. We're missing some passengers. So the count is wrong. We're going to need a couple of minutes." And the ground control in O'Hare. By the way, when you're in O'Hare, you don't stop and you don't talk unless you're talked to. So this is breaking protocol already, right? And so the ground controller berates the Lufthansa guy a little bit and says, "How are you gonna be ready or not?" And he comes back and says, We can't. We have lost a couple of passengers. We're missing some people, and there's never any dead air on the frequency in O'Hare. And somebody got in and said, "Did you check the ovens?"
Oh,
and then it was quiet. It was quiet for 10 seconds. 10 seconds, which seems like an eternity. And I'm flying with this guy. We looked at each other and went, "Holy shit! Somebody said that."
All tapes.
Hey, Fig, I was there that day, and I will tell you, you couldn't get a 16-penny nail through my behind.
Yeah.
Right? Holy shit, that just happened. That really got said. And that reminds me, I personally said this in O'Hare. So, like I said, you never stop on a taxiway. And you don't talk to them unless they talk to you. That's just like the ROE. It's unwritten.
Yeah.
And
unless you like sitting in the penalty box, right?
I've been given taxi instructions basically all the way to the gate. And I get to the turn I'm supposed to turn at, and there's an American guy coming the other way, and I don't go any further because if I do, I'm stuck. So we're kind of like this at a tech. We're nose to nose, right? And finally, I'm not saying anything. I'm waiting for the ground control to tell American to get the hell away. And finally, I just came up on the radio and I said, "Hey, we got a Mexican standoff going on here at November 2. And somebody came on the phone. Somebody came on the radio and said, "That's racist." And then somebody else said, "Bless you, Taco Bell." Oh, it was.
Oh boy.
So-
It's a standoff.
Yeah.
I'll give you my so there I was.
There you go.
Okay.
Right on.
Okay. Again, I am a civilian. I work for a company named RCA that did Aegis radar systems that ended up on guided missile cruisers, including the Gettysburg. They will not
Wait a second.
anything else beyond that for that. But, you know, the office says, you know, we're thinking about putting some of these systems on aircraft carriers. What? Right? We need some people to go out to an aircraft carrier. Anyone interested? I'm the new kid. You want to go? Yeah, I'll go. Whatever. Sure. Whatnot. I'm thinking like Norfolk, San Diego, Washington State, something like that. Naples.
Whoa.
I'm Sicilian, so hey, I'm going to be with the family if I'll work something in on this. So off I go to Naples, right? Go to the air station there, right? Okay, we're going to go out to the aircraft carrier. So I'm thinking, and for the record, I've never piloted a helicopter, but I'm not that worried about whirling death machines, except the Osprey. But that's another story.
Not yet.
Yeah. So yeah, okay, yeah. I put a text or chat thing when you were interviewing Rob Roy about the C2. There it is, a C2, where I get loaded up on, you know, facing backwards. Okay. We're flying to Sigonella and all this. No. I'm going into the middle of the Mediterranean. And I had that teeny little, I'm looking toward like, that. I don't know if this will be right. There's a ship down. Oh, shit. Yeah. In the break and whatnot. Okay. You got head down, you know, the whole drill, like, oh, crap. So I have been to the boat and shot off of a boat in my life as a civilian, like,
oh my God.
So that was always a fun one.
Yeah, you got a trap.
Yeah, I got a trap.
You got a trap.
Launch.
Nice.
So I got a one.
Facing backwards, correct? All
That's
those seats
correct.
face backwards.
Terrifying.
Yes. But when, you know, Rob Roy said, you know, and I was shit luck. The window was there. You're supposed to do that. You're not supposed to. Yeah. I was like, can I see out the window how this is working?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I think in the hangar talk about the A4, you know, Weepy, how far did you deflect the stick in the A4?
Oh, I went to the stop.
Yeah,
I went to the stop. That airplane kicked my ass. So, yeah. And then
it was awesome.
I'll do it.
Yeah. And I also said, and it went in passing, but I did it. I'm going into Scott Air Force Base in Belleville, Illinois. It was one of my last few flights in the Harrier. And Beak and I took a T-Bird out to the West Coast to fly some grunts around and let them see what the battlefield looks like from the air. Well, they were out doing one was a battalion commander, and his battalion was out in the field at Pendleton doing a bunch of maneuvers. It's like, here's how hard it is to see shit down there, especially when you're moving, 450, 500 knots. But we were coming back from Yuma, and it was my leg. And came screaming into the break in a clean T-Bird. I mean, that thing would go transonic easily. It was just so clean. And so we're there right at 650, 680 coming into the break. And I slapped that thing over. Fig's like, God damn it, you bounced my helmet off the canopy. Well, should have been ready for me. You could have warned me. What's the fun of that? So, hey, thinking of quick radio stories. I think I told this one on the show one time, but I was descending into Boston one night. I was on the Gardner arrival, and Boston controllers yelling at an American Eagle. So water ski, was that their call signs? Anyone remember? Used to be water ski or something like that.
Was one of the, it's the Eagle carrier, yeah. They
Yeah,
were
so it
based out
was
of
one
St.
of the
Louis.
American Eagle carriers. So this is 20, 25 years ago. We're descending in there and coming over Gardner, and yeah, Boston approach is going, water ski 235. I need you to descend now to 12,000, expedite through 15. Okay, he reads clearance back. About a minute later, water ski, I really need you down now. I need you to expedite through 15,000. Okay, we're coming down. And finally calls him a third time. Says, I really need you to expedite down or I'm going to have to level you off. And the guy comes back. He goes, I'm coming out of the sky like a dock in a bonanza. I can't give you no more. That was brutal.
Sick. That is sick.
It is sick.
But it's a very good visual.
He's
been really coming down hard.
Because doctors tend to buy high performance airplanes like Bonanzas that a little ahead of their skills, and then they hurt themselves in it. So brutal, right? I don't know, Fig. You got any doctors there flying Bonanzas in the ER with you?
No.
Or Sticks. I'm looking at Sticks and saying Fig. Sticks is running around the ER.
He's got a story. Yeah, he's leaving the room so he can tell a story.
Well, he's going to a dock right now.
Go to a code.
Yeah, no, actually, what I'm trying to, the nurses at the station are a little loud at the moment. I'm in the observation unit, so actually, I kind of had, I don't know if I had ever told this story, but so as I had mentioned, I was the public affairs officer for the air stay, and so I was talking with one of the reporters, and we had a incident that occurred where the door fell off of our helicopter.
I don't care.
So, yeah, this is something that actually was not uncommon. So what happened was, they were out doing some training and one of our aircraft, and the door fell off, and then a fishing boat came along and fished the door out of the water. And stenciled on the side of the door is the air station with its phone number and address, and a message that we'll pay for.
Please drop it in an email box.
Yeah. Give us a call or drop it in the mail to us, and we'll come pick it up. And so I'm having this. I'm talking with this reporter because the fishing boat made a big deal about the fact that they picked a door from a Coast Guard helicopter out of the water. And so I happened to say, well, the doors fall off the helicopter all the time, and it flies just fine. Wasn't one of my more brilliant maneuvers. So, the public affairs experts comes back and go,
how much longer were you the public affairs officer?
It's like, there's probably a better way to have delivered that, but at least the message got across. So, yeah, so there was a moment that I stepped in it, but it happens.
Sticks, was that a cargo door or a pilot?
It was
co-pilot.
It was really not a cargo door. It's a slide. So it's the sliding door on the side of the helicopter.
Okay, I call it cargo door, whatever. It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the door from which the hoist usually takes place. And there's two mechanisms to that. There's the sliding piece, and then there's another piece that comes up on and goes upwards so that the flight mech can actually stand in the door with the gunner's belt on while he's operating the hoist. And what would happen is there's it's just like your sliding door on your house when you're going out to your deck or your patio. It just happened to jump the tracks and it slipped right off and fell into the water. So,
well, at least you have a return number on it.
Yeah.
And a hotel key.
Drop
it in a mailbox.
And they're not small, they're a good 4 feet by 4 feet by 4 feet. So, but it is what it is. So,
how tall could you stand in that door without getting your head chopped off?
So you'd actually be surprised. There was probably if you were 6 feet or 7, there's probably 7 feet of distance from the main deck on the helicopter to where the rotor head was.
Okay.
I mean, you may be leaning over a little bit. Sometimes the flight mechs might be on their knees. The smaller ones would sometimes be standing. it would vary. But there was the transmission from where the transmission was to where the rotor head was a good 2-3 feet. So it's not a small gearbox. So
scary.
It scares Repeat and Fig, but they don't scare me.
My palms start sweating when we talk about helicopters.
Right? I mean, what is it? A gearbox surrounded by an oil leak?
They told that one story about when I was offshore that I think scared the crap out of me, and it went so quick that I didn't necessarily think too much of it until later. But I think one of the other scary moments that I had was I was out out for a search and rescue case, and all of a sudden, and we were really close to where the clouds were. And it's January, and all of a sudden, this big wad of slush just slides down the windscreen, and I realized, oh crap, we're picking up ice. This is not good. I think I started to get a little scared. So then we came down in altitude, but it was going to put us over the piping plovers. And there was this little restricted area for these birds that we wanted to protect. So my flight mech started to get a little verklempt over that. And I was like, fuck the piping plovers. We're saving ourselves right now.
So let me just get this straight. You were getting lower to the ground. So when it all came flying apart, you just have a shorter
few feet to go.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it was hoping that if we came down, we would be out of the visible moisture. Because when you're flying on NVGs and you're looking down, you don't notice. You could actually be in the clouds and not notice it. So, and that that's it sort of gets your attention.
Yeah. Don't forget, Fig. This was at night.
Yeah.
Of course, he never flew when it wasn't shitty night over the water at 100 feet with the 100 mile an hour winds,
hurricane,
30-foot seas. I mean, they don't fly when it's nice out. I mean, they just don't.
No, generally not. So, that's why I got a good number of actual instrument hours. So,
I'm still working on my instrument hours.
By force.
Oh, what do you think, gents? We've been at this almost an hour and a half.
Yeah. It's probably time we say goodnight and let people get back to their family and friends. And hopefully Bago's mom is making us all cookies.
Heck yeah.
Hey, Repeat and Fig, if I may.
Yes.
I would just like to thank you, gentlemen, and everybody that's been part of this podcast. I feel I can't hold your flight bags or your lap boards or anything. But I would like to say, as somebody with 74,600 flight hours, I would like to say, proud to be a part of this.
70.
Nice.
Did you say 74,000?
Yeah.
Yes, sir, I did.
You may want to tell them what it is you did.
I will say that Repeat is the only one that I've met so far. Fig has emailed me. Thanks to President Kennedy in 1961 signing the Air Marshal Act. At that time, it was the Sky Marshal Act.
Yes.
I don't mean to prolong this podcast any longer, but I would like to say God bless all of you for your service. And it's been a long, hard road. I've been retired 3 years, and I truly appreciate everybody. I have, well, I won't say dozens. I will say about 8 World War I and World War II veterans that have preceded me and my family. And I didn't follow through with that, but I spent 36 years, 10 months, 2 weeks with the Federal Air Marshal Service.
I was right next to you. So we actually had on 9/11, I flew the air marshals down to meet with George W. Bush.
Sir, you and I met on that day.
Oh dear God!
Get out!
That was a long time ago, sir.
Damn.
And I truly appreciate it. You know,
now that I'm sitting here looking at you, all of a sudden I'm back there.
I agree.
Holy shit!
We both look a little older.
Older.
Well, let me rephrase that. I look a lot older. You look just like you did that day, sir.
That's outstanding.
Holy cow! Well, thank you for your service. That is outstanding.
Yes. Thank you. God, this is awesome. What a great connection.
That's cool. Or what?
I want to prolong this. I know you were trying to end it because it's been a long day for everybody.
All right.
Repeat. You and I had a conversation October of last year. No, October of this year. I apologize. I was not in my best shape because I had just dislocated and broken my shoulder. And I was not feeling very well, but I would like to say thank you to all and thank you for your service, gentlemen and ladies.
Yep. Thank you. And
Wow.
Thank you for doing.
Holy crap.
Where boring is good. Thank you for doing one of the more boring jobs on the planet, because the training was far more exciting, obviously. When on a good day, the training's more exciting than the actual mission.
Yeah,
That's
I've got
a lot of time in the air.
I've got a lot of time in the store, a lot of time in the air, and sitting in the back. It's not like sitting up front. I won't put you guys through that tonight, but
I would love to hear some of your stories.
Big and Repeat and I have gone through emails. I'm just trying to get a point in my life where I can talk about it. I was trying to get him to tease it on the podcast, because I've got a lot of sons of bitches that would love to come on this show.
That'll be good.
But no, seriously, I've got a shit ton of stories. And if you have questions, well, I've had about 4 or 5 drinks in the last hour. You want to talk? You tell me.
There you go. Well, we'll get you on. I remember in the summer we chatted about it, and you're like, at this point, no. And I get it. I understand that there's still.
I would love to hear your stories, man.
I'm not a super secret squirrel, I swear.
Yeah.
When we were working, if you showed your credentials, you got days on the beach, meaning you got suspended for between 5 and 10 days.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm retired as of January of 21. No, I'm sorry, January of 22. I wouldn't mind talking. And this is a great community, and I feel safe to say, if the government wants to come after me, oh shit, we're okay.
They know where you live, so. Yeah,
well, they most definitely do. Repeat.
Yeah. Sadly, they know where we all live. So.
Well, Korea gave that all up a long time ago, but we don't need to go there. But no, I know you want to close the show out, but I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
You two have done amazing work.
Thank you.
It was an accident. Thank you for saying it, but I can tell you, it was an accident.
A happy accident. Hey, before we go, I just do want to offer. So Eric Henderson's been here for a little bit lurking, and Steve Schofield. Both of you guys have been down there lurking, and lurking is perfectly cool. But if you got anything to offer up or questions or anything before we get out of here, just going once, going twice. Anyone? Anyone?
Boom operator.
There you go. Boom operator. Okay.
Yeah. So retired, did about 28 years, 10 years as a crew chief on KC-10, KC-135, and 18 years as a boom operator. So just
nice.
Where'd
you do that?
Let's see. I was active duty at Barksdale Air Force Base when the KC-10s were still rolling off the assembly line, brand new. And
okay. So Barksdale's way up north by Shreveport. Those who are wondering.
Exactly. Yeah. And did my 6 years, went to the first Gulf War, everything else in between from 85 to 91.
Nice.
Got out, came back home, joined the Air National Guard down at Salt Lake, chief with them for about 4 years, and then got a boom slot and did that for the last 18. Retired in 2013?
Okay.
I can't remember. They all
outstanding.
Yeah. So
bless you. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, my pleasure. Great.
I was banned from the officers club at Barksdale Air Force Base for life.
Yeah.
You gotta say it now.
I think we heard that story.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. Boom operators have like the best vantage point
Right?
for aircraft and everything, man.
Some amazing
It's like a
video
good
and
gig. I
stills
think
from
it's a
that.
good gig.
Heck yeah, it is.
I'll say this as far as enlisted flying goes: if you can't be a flight engineer, be a boom operator. Can't be a
Dude,
boom
that's
operator.
I think that's spot on. I think that's spot on.
There you go.
Yeah, just talked to one of my neighbors has a daughter that was anyway. She's going to be a boom operator in the Kansas Guard.
Oh, nice.
Good,
Okay.
yeah, good gig.
Yeah, that'll be good. I like those. I like those guys flying with those guys, and sometimes you cross pollinate and fly, especially when you're deployed. You fly with other.
Oh
people,
yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good deal. And all I got to say is, you get out of it what you put into it. So you can just be a bump on the log and do your fly all your AFTCs and then go to all your drills. You don't have to deploy, but if you want to do that, if you want to jump in and take up augment the active duty, you can do that too.
Nice.
So,
I'll tell you what, that's true for everything, right? You get out what you put in.
So did Master just sign on?
I was gonna say, yeah, I just saw him.
Yep.
Master bump in.
Oh yeah. Nice, Master.
Acted on Verba, buddy.
Are you? Yeah, is this Master from out of Guam?
Master.
I'm sure
Master
he's very
Bodden.
eloquent.
Yeah.
Master Bodden.
Yeah.
Well, damn it.
And how about Steve?
Yeah.
Steve Schofield. Play your trumpet
Oh,
for
same.
us, man. Play the Marine Corps
Hey,
hymn while
how's it
standing
going?
at attention.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I enjoy hearing you guys' stories. I've been a band teacher for 30 years, wanted to fly in the military, grew up as an Air Force brat, and I just love hearing the stories. It makes me feel like I was there.
Awesome.
Very
cool. We try. Yeah. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, indeed.
Badass ain't said a word the whole time.
It's like big and repeat before you log off. Take 30 seconds to look at a couple of pictures I dropped in the chat. Just again, I'm not an aviator either, like a few of these guys in the college, a career Marine, but did a couple of deployments. And I thought, I don't know your last name, just know your call signs. I just wondered, what are the odds if we did a phone together at some point?
Holy shit. Did you put this picture up of the dude sitting on the Harrier?
Yeah, those, yep.
Oh, hold on. I lost it.
I'm trying to.
Where'd he go?
Sisson.
It was just out of a cruise book from like 24th Mew.
Okay, so Cool, Bob Sofji, Tom Glick, George Babb, Chirico. I can't remember him. Yeah, flew with most of those guys. I flew with. George Babb was one of my students. Cool and I were instructors at 203. Wilkerson, I'm blanking on where I know him from. McNulty was there at was he 542 or is he with us at 223 Fig?
Not at 223. Must have been 542.
Yeah.
Glick.
Bob Sofji was one of my students. Glick was an instructor with me at 203.
That's awesome.
In fact, that's cool looking. It looks like his arm in a beehive or something with his back.
What the?
That's cool there.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I've dicked this whole thing up.
Yeah. In fact, he named his daughter after his wife and my wife were very good friends, and they named their daughter after my first wife after she passed. So,
that's awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, thanks for the pick, Tom.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I
there's
grabbed
two
it
of
off
them.
the iPhone real quick. Yeah. So if you want me to scan it or something, I can email it to you if you're interested.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, and whose cruise book is this? Because I see Harry Blott, Dooley,
so this
Bob
is
Alexander.
There's two deployments. There's a 24th Mew in 94 and 95 and 96.
Oh yeah, and then Iggy Walker Wicks, he passed it. He died taking off out of Cherry Point in the goo one day. Went into the clouds and came out of the clouds inverted and hit the furniture, just in the parking lot of the furniture store. Never ejected. Yeah, Walker Wicks. I'm still in touch with his almost widow, fiance, when he died, Joni. So, yeah, Bob Alexander. I'm blanking on his call sign right now. Oh, man, great pictures. Thank you.
Great pictures. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
With Tom Glick. Yeah. Okay.
I just ran into him not too long ago. He and I work for the same company.
Yeah. I hadn't seen him in years, and I was doing Alpha work. I ran into him in Washington, D.C. about 5 years ago. So, wow, fantastic.
Awesome.
What a small world. And Mike Evans from New Zealand.
It got real small. It got real small there a minute ago.
Yeah. And then Mike Evans joining us from New Zealand, who, is he there? There he is. One of the first ones to send us a photo that we put up on Facebook, listening to the show in the hangar and in the cockpit.
Yep.
How's it going, guys?
Welcome. Good morning.
Mike. Hey, Mike.
It's Festivus in New Zealand.
What's that?
It's Festivus in New Zealand.
It is indeed. I actually tried to join yesterday. I had a feeling that the time zones were wrong, and I was out fishing, and I thought, wow, that'd actually be a bad look. You guys would be all sitting there in your offices in the cold, and I'm out fishing. It wouldn't have been a good look at all.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the best look of them all.
I actually happened to turn it on. I was checking the link, and I saw you were sitting there, and I was going to say hi, and I'm like, I'm going to screw this up if I join the meeting, so I didn't. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, good choice, Pete.
Yeah. Well, welcome
aboard.
from the other side of the planet.
Right.
Enjoying summer, I hope.
Yeah,
Longest day of the
absolutely. We've
year.
had a few good days.
Fantastic. All right.
Brad mentioned in that second picture if the Captain Sisson in the second picture is 542's old skipper Possum.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know him. Fig?
Yeah, I know the name. I'm drawing a blank. A face. I can't see it. I can't see it very well.
Yeah. All right. Well,
repeat before we close it out, if I may. So, those that have something available, a toast to all those that have served and are here tonight, and a toast mainly to those that have served and were not able to come home.
Indeed.
Cheers, gentlemen. Ladies, too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And deepest gratitude to all. And as we close it out, normally we go through a whole bunch of thank yous to the people. Obviously I'm going to say it to Dave Hamilton because this show wouldn't be here without Dave. But I'm going to leave all the other nonsense and that kind of stuff off this week and say Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah or whichever holiday it is you celebrate at this time of the year. Particularly for those of you who are celebrating with an empty chair at your table. We're grateful for the sacrifice that family member of yours has made. We are grateful to you for the sacrifice you have made. We all enjoy all these freedoms, and the world is a safer place because those people stepped up and wrote the check. And so thank you and God bless. And may you all have a blessed and happy holiday season with your families. Share much love and thank you for being with us. May God
I
bless
agree
you.
100%. Agree, Vic. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Cheers.
Well, there I was, crossing the pond, and you could see that I wasn't exactly fond of all the shit I was wearing on that day. Now an F-16 is cramped enough, but it's even worse with all that stuff supposed to save your life. But we knew there was no way. 'Cause when you're going down the North Atlantic, man, it's over.
See ya.
Boom. And we're out. I'm going to end the recording right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I can find the end of the recording button.
Definitely will not be the last one of these.
I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about it.